All right. Wait for Seattle podcast episode 79 coming out to you on a Wednesday morning. We're recording on a Tuesday night because the days between December 25th and January 1st just don't seem like days. They seem
Yeah.
like weekends, and like I have a newborn at home and nothing seems like a day. Like
Kev, when you just
it's
said it was
insane.
Tuesday night, I was like, no, it's not. So to prove your point exactly, I'm like, no, it's not Tuesday.
I was like, is
it's
it New
definitely
Year's?
Tuesday.
I turned to Christine. I was like, is it New Year's Eve yet?
Yeah.
More importantly, has the transfer portal opened yet? Because the
Mm.
transfer portal opens on January 2nd, which seems forever from now, but that's Friday.
That's Friday. Yeah.
So,
Episode 79 is the Jacob Green experience, I would call it. It's also the year I was born, Kev.
19.
79.
Oh,
I'm
man,
old.
you're 10 years older than I thought you were. 1989.
You're not alone in that. I mean, I guess that's a compliment. I don't know.
Yeah. It's a backhanded compliment.
Let me tell you real quick, as a side note, as I've been driving around this holiday season, there's a local radio station that's doing like throwbacks to years. They're basically not having any DJs on the air between Christmas and New Year's, to your point about this like blurry time where people don't want to work. And they're doing like 1993, and then for an hour they'll just play like the best songs of 1993. It's not a hip hop station, it's like an alternative rock station. So it's a lot of like when it goes to the 90s, I like know 93, 94. I'm like, I know all those songs. It was like my 8th grade era. And then I thought, God, Kevin probably doesn't know any of these songs.
Oh, you know,
I mean,
every
you do.
Seattle
It's like,
kid goes through their
it's
Nirvana
Nirvana,
phase. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, there's some songs in there that I'm like, oh man, yeah. Like there's a
Yeah.
Counting Crows documentary out right now on HBO Max. That probably means nothing to you.
No, it doesn't mean anything to me.
That was like big time for me, 8th grade.
God, I need to get cultured. I'm so wrapped up in sports news.
Yeah, well, but then my wife and I put on a Spotify like best of 1992 playlist. Woo-hoo. It's like Shy. Do you know Shy? Some R&B. Man, it's so good. There's
you know, we should do a we should do one of those like Spotify mixes where it like mixes our algorithms and then give ourselves a little playlist listen for the weekend.
We should send each other.
Yeah. Let's do it.
But I'm going to send you all stuff from my middle school era. That's what I wanted to do is like, I thought about maybe even a top 5 one week where it's like the top 5 songs from Brian's 8th grade year and Kevin's 8th grade year to see how
that would be great.
Totally different they are. So maybe we'll save that for the new year. But here we are in 2025.
The Wait for It Seattle. Yeah, we could have done a Wait for It Seattle Wrapped podcast where we recount our worst moments.
Well, you sent me a clip of us just saying over and over. Which then I listened last week and I was a little rusty. There was a lot of likes. So I'm gonna try and cut it out this week. Try to get back to being professional.
There we go. So speaking of professional, we have a professional agenda today where we go back to our headlines.
Yep.
Obviously, the headline of all headlines is your 13 win. I'm looking at your header. It says professional. Quote professional podcaster.
I gotta see it to believe it. I gotta
you gotta become the persona.
Okay.
Yeah, what I was going to say is the Seahawks have won 13 games, and that's only happened 2 other times in the franchise's history. And both of the times they went to the Super Bowl.
You have to read the headline first.
Gosh.
That's the point of the segment.
Seahawks,
you read an actual headline.
The Seahawks take care of business versus Panthers. Stay atop NFC playoff race.
Okay. So the Seahawks won 27-10 over the Panthers. I'm going to let you go on your spiel here in a second.
Yes.
Were you ever worried about them losing this game?
I mean, you're always worried when you're turning the ball over and Sam Darnold does not look good. And the score, you're just kind of waiting for the run to happen or the defensive plays to happen. And they happened in the second half.
Yep.
But the first half, I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
It's just, that's how football works. I
was not because of how they are, and I'll get back to that later. But go ahead. Let's lay the groundwork for like what you were going to say about the Seahawks because I think it's important.
I just think that this team is historic and it doesn't seem historic.
Right.
It's the weirdest freaking thing.
Yeah.
Like you're seeing so many stats where people won't say it out loud, but like the statistics say that this team is better than the Super Bowl winning team. Like the defense is arguably more dominant than that.
You said
that
it
defense.
last. You said it last week that their DVOA, which
yeah.
is more accepted in the football community than PFF scores, right, in rankings, is like the fourth best all time.
Yeah, you thought that Seahawks secondary was good with the Legion of Boom with Sherman, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor. This secondary gave up 40 passing yards against the Panthers. What? That's all they gave up.
Yeah, they
40 passing yards.
Yeah, that's silly. That's dumb.
What? Wait, can I tell you this? The last time that happened was in 1998 against the Eagles. And
the Seahawks?
Yeah, and the QB for the Eagles was a guy by the name of Bobby Hoying. He had 12 passing yards.
Ooh.
I've never heard of that name, and that's a crazy stat. Cole Musgrove, 23, on X. I think that's where that came from.
Fans in a game like that. Eagles fans. I mean, there's only one other fan base who hates their winning team more than the Seahawks, I feel like, and it's the Eagles.
Yeah.
Because Jalen Hurts has won 2 games this year without a passing completion in the second half of the games. Like that's.
And you think like people talk about like, oh, the pros, like NFL is way better than college football.
Yes,
like you think you'd only get those things that would happen in college football. Like those things happen in the NFL like all the time.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I think the reason people are not seeing it historic is the turnovers, right? They are second in the NFL, I think, in turnovers overall. Darnold in their little stretch right now is like 8 touchdowns, 8 picks, right? I think that's during their current winning streak. That's his stats. But I think it comes down to Sam Darnold. Like people just don't see until he does it, even just wins a playoff game. People are like, yeah, but right. So great. They did this, but
yeah. And they still have, if they lose on Sunday, they could be the 5 seed and things get a lot harder than they would be if they won on Sunday. And you're going into a road game against a rival for everything, right? On short notice. But before we get there, like I just like the turnover thing is interesting because that is, I was listening to KJR this morning, yesterday's broadcast, and they were talking about how there's really no correlation.
I heard that too.
Between the amount of turnovers that the Seahawks have and them winning. And it's like, well, this is the season itself is an example of this, right?
Right.
Darnold's turning the ball over, but it doesn't matter. They have 13 wins. And this has only happened, like I said, 2 other times in the franchise's history. Like, so as bad as Darnold is playing, and I think you pointed it out, like it's defenses have adjusted and they're playing Darnold a certain way. It hasn't shown that it's mattered because the defense is that good or the offense is just good enough.
Well,
for everything to work.
Yeah. I'm listening to different podcasts and the radio. Seattle sports is a little stronger, obviously nationally. And, I listen to Bill Simmons and he's like, I just don't believe in that offense. That offense hasn't done anything. Right. And I think that narrative is out there. He even said, he was talking to Mina Kimes and it's kind of what we're talking about, this lack of belief in the offense. But I think it's fair because Darnold hasn't won. I'll give that. It's fair because Darnold turns the ball over. Those are fair. You also then have to say the things that are also true, such as the Seahawks have in the last 3 games averaged 27 points per game.
Yeah,
right?
They have Jackson Smith and Jigba leads the NFL in receiving yards, right?
Right, but I think a lot of it, people are like, oh, early they were hot. Well, there's a narrative that the Seahawks can't run the ball, and I don't think that's true. They're in the last 3 games, they're at 4.6 yards per carry. They're at 128 yards per game, and it's just this like. And this narrative that they don't score points. Well, they scored 27 against the Panthers, right? The defense is good, and the offense is scoring the second most points in football.
Yeah.
So however you want to slice it, whether you want to say the defense is setting up the offense, totally. So do a lot of Super Bowl teams that are really, really good. That's what the Eagles are going to count on in the playoffs. To a certain extent,
Yeah.
it's what the Rams count on, not as much. It's what the Bears are going to count on, even though their defense is bad against the Niners. So the Broncos are certainly counting on, right? There's so many teams that's what they want to do, is have a defense set up their offense in a good spot. I think the idea that they're not good enough on offense, I guess we'll find out in the playoffs. I just don't think it's true. And at the same time, I think Sam Darnold could have a disastrous playoff performance. Like it could happen.
But it's especially interesting for the Seattle fan base to have this type of outlook on things when we've had really good offenses. We've had 2 Super Bowl teams, right? We've had we've had 3, but we've had 2 kind of main ones, the 05 and the 2013 team. The 05 team's offense was really good, right? Didn't win the Super Bowl, got exposed. The defense in 2013 and 2014, top notch. Almost won back-to-back Super Bowls with that defense. And here we have questions about the offense, no questions about the defense. No one's doubting that the defense is good, right? And people are questioning whether this team can win the Super Bowl when, I'd rather have this than the inverse, right? Where I think this is my point. Like, I'd rather have a really, really rock solid defense going into the playoffs, playing at home, rather than a really, really good offense and a weak defense playing at home or not playing at home.
Right. They might be on the road. Yeah.
Yeah. And we've had really good offense, like awesome offenses, like historically good offenses during the post 2014 with Russell Wilson and any of the weapons that he's had over the years, and in whatever types of offenses or whoever the OCs were in all those years, they made the playoffs and had first or second round exits, right? And not getting the NFC Championship. So it's a fair criticism, and I feel like, yes, at the most important position, if you have question marks, it's fair to doubt whether this team can win a Super Bowl. But right now, they're the favorites. They're the odds on. They're the favorites in Vegas to win the Super Bowl, which is crazy because I did not drink enough Kool-Aid or put as much bets as you probably did in August.
I said it on this podcast. I won 2 bets, make the playoffs and over 8.5 wins.
You stole that money, man.
Yeah, it wasn't that much, unfortunately. To build off of this also, I think one factor is Mike Macdonald. I think he's really, really good. I said this in preseason. I think one camp could say them averaging, I think they're averaging like 5 points per first half in their last like 4 or 5 games. Well, they're also averaging the second most points in the fourth quarter in the last 3 games. To go back to your point about Carolina, Mike Macdonald has shown me that he will make the adjustment at halftime. Like, until he doesn't, right? Every game they've made the adjustment at halftime. Even in the Rams game, which the Rams still marched up and down the field, but they struggled in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter. And then overtime they had a nice drive, but the Seahawks defense turned it on. Macdonald specifically in defensive scheme will come up with stuff in the second half to limit people. And so I always have confidence at halftime if we're in the game that we got a shot. Now, will Darnold make the play? Will we be able to run? Who knows? And to kind of segue to the next headline, it certainly would help for them to be the number 1 seed because you have a bye week, and this relates to our next headline, and you'd be at home. So this came out today, which was Seahawks are could be facing major issue at left tackle against the 49ers. So Charles Cross is out. Josh Jones has been pretty good replacing him, and Josh Jones did not practice today. That's going to be a problem, even with a bad 49er defense. And I don't say bad to disparage them. I say bad because they're injured and they are just flat out bad. They gave up a lot of points and a lot of yards to teams right now without Fred Warner and Bosa and all of the dudes that they lost in free agency in the offseason. So they have one of the worst pass rushes in the league. The Niners had under 20 sacks going into last game. There was a stat that said no team in NFL history has ever made the playoffs with under 20 sacks and under 10 interceptions. And the 49ers are already in the playoffs. And they might go over that number, but that tells you they're not a great defense. Brock Purdy's playing amazing. But
that
what is
touchdown throw is sick.
What's your confidence level going into this game on the road?
On the road? Yeah, down the road actually for me. I'm at a 5.
Yeah.
It sounds like a cop-out, but like this is a super important game for the Niners, and they can get magic at home easily.
They could play, Kev. The Super Bowl's at Santa Clara, so they could never leave home all the way to the Super Bowl if they get the 1 seed.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I haven't thought about that, that's pretty insane considering what that team went through, and their wide receiver that's no longer on the team.
Brandon Ayuk no longer playing.
Speeding 100 miles per hour
Kittle's
outside of the
been
stadium.
hurt. Trent Williams got hurt in this game, which could be big for the Seahawks. On the other side, they may also not have their left tackle. I don't know. Purdy.
Actually, I'm moving up to a 6. I mean, they escaped their last game, right? Like,
I mean, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
They're good. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. 6 is fair. I'm with you.
I think the X factor, honestly, too, is Kyle Shanahan versus Mike McDonald.
Yeah,
right?
Shanahan's good. He's really good.
This is a guy that's been to the Super Bowl numerous times. He's been able to lead this hobbled team to a possible 1 seed in the NFC against the Seahawks. Like, that's we're talking McDonald Coach of the Year. I mean, there's a credible argument for Shanahan too, doing with what he's done with his roster and not having Purdy for a good chunk of the season, a lot of the key players that you mentioned. So,
can I tell you a stat that I think will matter most in this game, and it won't surprise a lot of people? San Francisco is number 1 in the NFL in third down conversion percentage, which is at 51%. So 51% of the time they convert on third down. To put that in a contrast, Seattle is 39%, which is 15th, right in the middle of the league. So that's, seems about normal. In the last 3 games, Kev, the Niners are at 64% third down conversion. That's a backbreaker. You get them on third down, 3rd and 6, whatever. And I remember this happening in the game in Seattle that I went to. You think then they just throw to McCaffrey out of the backfield and he gets the first down. They get Jawan Jennings over the middle. They throw to Tongus, their tight end. They crush you on it.
And here's the thing too, we're so late in the season. Like, I was listening to last season, Bill Belichick had a podcast, and he talked about how, like, you really, the first 2 months of the season, September, October, that's not really going to tell you anything about how these teams will play in the playoffs. It's really in November and December how the teams are playing. And to add on top of that, like, think about as a coach, right? Like, at this point, everyone knows what the 49ers offense is going to bring to the table. Everyone knows what the Seahawks defense is going to bring to the table. Like, there's no surprises here. And
well, here's the only caveat to that. And I don't know if this is true because I didn't study the film. But Mike Jackson, who was a little miffed, former Seahawk, and he had a great game for Carolina as a corner. I'm sorry, it wasn't Mike Jackson. That distracted me because he was miffed about, and he had a good game. But it was a teammate of his. I think it was Tet McMillan, who we thought was going to be a Husky at one point. Said he was surprised. They thought Seattle would play more zone from what they had studied, and they played more man-to-man than they expected. So I don't know if that's true. I don't know. He's not lying, but a feeling after a game is different than the tape sometimes.
Yeah.
I've coached games where I'm like, God, they played zone the whole game. And then you go watch and it was like 5 terrible possessions in a quarter. So you felt like it was more.
Yeah.
So it could be that that's not true. But
I guess
it's interesting.
So
I don't know
I'm wrong too.
I'm
maybe
just
it's
thinking,
like, is it more about imposing your will at this point in the season, or is it more about out coaching
and
being able to adjust, right?
Yeah,
to
I'm
the
curious
other
with Shanahan and McDonald, they both feel like coaches who still have changes and tricks up their sleeve at this point in the year. But I think your overall point, and most coaches would say, is totally true. Like, you are who you are. But I think the good ones adjust. Now, let me close the loop on the key stat. Seattle defensively is the best in the league at third down opponent conversion.
Yeah, it'll be, man. You know that, I don't know if I've told you this, but everyone has a dad that did this, and you probably do this to your sons when you're watching a football game and you're like, that's a big third down. This is a big third down. And you look up at the screen and you're like, yep, he's totally right. And it's like never not right. Like, it's a huge, big third down. There's gonna be a lot of those. Like, there's gonna be like the third down when you're driving, and you're in 49er territory and you're in that like kind of area where it could either be a field goal or then like you're in touchdown range, right? Where it's 4 to goal, right? So, and I think
Niners,
in a road game, you need to put up points. Yeah, go ahead.
Niners defensively are 15th in third down. They allow exactly the same percentages the Seahawks get. So they're number 15, number 15. So I think third downs are huge. In the new NFL, fourth downs are huge. Like, everybody goes for it. So sometimes this happened in the Carolina game. I was like, oh, big stop. The team's hyped. They're celebrating. And then Carolina goes for it again on fourth down. So it's just a different deal. I would guess both teams would be pretty aggressive in that capacity in week 18. Although McDonald, I think they said the stat in the last game, he goes for it the least on fourth down in the league. And he was surprised by that. And he's like, oh, I have to look at my metrics. Like, he feels like he's aggressive. But I think he's not aggressive. He feels like he's aggressive at like the opponent's 45 and closer. But I think other teams are aggressive in their own half now.
Yeah, I think they need to be the most aggressive in the third quarter. I'd love for them to go at it for a second quarter, like going for fourth downs and stuff and passing up field goals for touchdowns, right? But I just have a feeling that this game is going to be very low scoring and a very hard watch, and it'll be very tight entering the fourth quarter. And so if the Seahawks want to blow the thing open, then you need to take risks in the third quarter. But I think in the first and second quarter, I think the defenses are going to dominate the game, and it's going to be low scoring. I haven't looked at the over-under for total points yet.
Week 1 was 13-10, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was leaning it would be more of a shootout because guys are so tired and injured.
Yeah.
And the Niners defense is so beat up, but their offense is playing so well. But I don't know. Yeah. I think it'll come down to the end. And the good news is because the Rams blew it against the Falcons last night.
Yeah.
The Seahawks can only drop to the 5 seed, which means they would go play Carolina or Tampa Bay in first round instead of Philly. And that is awesome.
Is there a possibility that the Seahawks play the Rams and then the Niners in the playoffs?
Well, not first round. First round, it's either going to be a bye or it's going to be Carolina or Tampa Bay.
Okay.
So that's huge.
So if they're the 1 seed, though, could they go Rams, Niners?
If they're the 1 seed, they could go Rams, Niners. Yeah. Yeah. Which I would probably predict.
Could you imagine?
I would probably predict that. Yeah. That's right. I mean, so let's say the Niners are the 5. I would predict them to go beat the NFC South team. Then they play the Seahawks. Actually, I don't know if they reseed in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like if the Seahawks play the lowest seed.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Because if they did, then they'd play the Rams. If the Rams beat the Eagles,
Yeah.
But that all depends. There's also it's because there's a 7. What if the Packers beat the Bears? Then all of a sudden you're playing the Packers. So who knows? We'll figure that out for next week once we actually know what's happening. So, all right, let's move on to some other sports, Kev.
Hell yeah. There's so many good sports. There's so many sports on TV right now.
Wasn't like the day after Christmas.
Lull. Yeah, but like
it was tough. But
dude,
starting tonight into tomorrow, it's beautiful.
I had WCC basketball,
baby.
Big Ten hoops the other night. Like, it's great.
Should I check live on air about my Santa Clara Broncos to see how they're doing? They're a hot button for me.
Oh yeah, I see. I got the score update already.
Well, I don't want you to tell me.
Okay, I won't tell you.
This will be good. Oh yeah,
Unfortunately,
close,
Creighton did not cover the 7.5 point spread. I trusted Caroline and I lost $12 on the Cal Sheet trading app. So
I'm sorry. Caroline blew it. How about Gonzaga 99-93 against San Diego? Well, anyway, let's get back on track. So speaking of basketball, though, I went to this game yesterday. Washington Husky women dump Northwestern in Big Ten home opener.
I would maybe revise the headline to say Avery Howell dominated Northwestern. I saw her little highlight and she hit a lot of 3-pointers.
They were on fire as a team. They could not miss from three. They were like 13 of 26 at halftime from three. And some of them
I would easily take them in a three-point shootout against the men if they had
that is
if they had a joint
true.
practice.
Send me an interesting stat about that. Yeah, that is true. I'll talk about the men in a second. So I wanted to get to this because first of all, they needed to beat Northwestern. Northwestern, I could tell you watching that game, they're not a good team.
They're not good.
They have a really good player, Grace Sullivan. She had 30 points and 8 rebounds. But their guards are nowhere near the level of UW's guards. And I thought in a Big Ten play, right, it'd be closer. They didn't. Yeah. They looked like the guard, like UW Green Bay, UC San Diego. I went to those games. They had better guards than Northwestern.
Interesting.
So that was kind of interesting to see. But I think this is the really good news of why I wanted to bring it up. I'm pulling up the stats. So Ella Dean had 23 points, and we talked last
week.
21 minutes, 23 points. She was 7 to 12 from the field. She had 5 rebounds. She did foul out, but she was.
I wonder
good.
if she listens to the pod, man. She was like, "Yep, Kevin's
she was
right."
a guest. She was a guest. Yeah. They have an interesting rotation. There's, they have a couple players who can go anywhere from like 6 minutes to 17, 20 minutes a game, depending on what's going on in the game. But their core group is Ladine, Howell, Sellers, Steins, and then a combo of bigs, but mostly Bryn, the freshman. And they play Michigan on Thursday, New Year's Day at 3 o'clock. In Michigan, Michigan's really, really good. They're number 6 in the country. And the Huskies have a stretch here where I think we're going to find out how good they are. They go Michigan and Michigan State, both ranked. Then they go on the road for some games that are winnable. They actually have a stretch of non-ranked teams that they need to win before playing Maryland, who's number 7. So unlike the men who we talked about last week, who have a brutal schedule, the women have 2 tough ones, and then they have a bunch of winnable ones. So they need to build their resume.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I watched the Michigan women play the Oregon Ducks because the men's Husky men's basketball game was delayed.
Oh, because it was TV, like double overtime.
Because it was like double overtime, so I was not stuck watching, but I ended up watching.
It's a good game.
The Michigan women against the Oregon Ducks, and like as hard as it is for these West Coast teams to go travel to the East Coast, the same difficulties arise when Michigan, a top 10 team, travels to the West Coast. And this is not an easy road trip for Michigan. Like after a double overtime win against Oregon, to have to go play ranked Washington.
The only thing is they played Monday and then they don't play till Thursday.
Yeah.
And they're acclimated to West Coast time. They're hanging out in Seattle.
Yeah.
My question was, I'm not going to actually have you answer this question, but it is a New Year's Day at 3. I was like, which Husky player will be in the worst shape? Like, is there anyone on the team
like symptoms?
Yeah, is there anybody on the team who will be out too late the night before, or are they like? I want to know their team dynamic. Are they locked in as a group?
Do they have to go to the hotel before the night before?
That's
like
true. The football
team
does that, right?
Yeah. I wonder if they do the same.
God, if I was Tina Langley, that's 100% what I would do. I would have them in a hotel. I would say, we got the number 6 team in the country. This is a big opportunity.
You will have plenty of New Year's Eves the rest of your life.
Totally. You could be an adult and be an idiot forever or stay up late or whatever you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll have a Stranger Things watch party. It's a big deal on New Year's Eve.
I mean, the UW Athletics seems like they're into Star Wars, so maybe have a Star Wars.
They had Star Wars night. I went last year.
Yeah,
I was actually at the game, and I left before the men's game. I went to the women's game and then left and went to dinner. Didn't watch the men's game.
You're like, I do not want to see men. I do not want to see any missed 3-pointers at Heck Ed.
I went home and watched a little on TV, and they had a great stat on the broadcast. By the way, Aaron Goldsmith was doing it, which was awesome. The Husky men are like, let's transition to the men here. Like 290th in the country in assists or something like that. Some terrible stat. Yeah.
Are we transitioning to the men? Do you have anything else on the women?
No, I just think it's a big week, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
They're in. This would be a good segue too. They're bracketology. They're like a 9 seed right now. Surprised me a little bit. I think
they'd be higher.
No, I thought they'd be lower because they haven't really beaten anybody.
Yeah.
And they've lost to Stanford and they lost to USC. No bad losses, but their best win is at Utah.
No right? Q1. What is it, quad one?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Well, they don't do it for the women in the same way. Like Ken Palm loves.
So this is why, because
that gives I don't know if they're gonna.
Yeah, but that gives you
I mean, if they beat them, it's like you can have an okay season almost, to a certain degree. I'm trying to look at they have this version of Ken Palm for women. The Huskies are 39th overall in this
what is it,
ranking.
Torvak or Torak?
This one is it's called allmysportsteamsuck.com. I don't know. Who knows how reliable that is?
Okay, going to the men though.
Yeah.
So we talked about the dysfunctional offense. Like, one, they can't shoot and they have no identity. Like, they have a bunch of talented players. And I hate to say this, and I think I'm there with you after watching a couple full games. I don't know if Sprinkle knows what to do with this offense yet. The rotation is all, and it's not all him. Part of it is they've had injuries, so they've had different guys playing. They just brought this European dude that's playing significant minutes, like you mentioned last week. But I was watching with Christina said, their offense is they have no identity. It's so tough to watch.
So hard to watch.
And she watched for a half and she goes I kind of know what you mean. And I was like, yeah, I mean, they can win one-on-one with Desmond Claude, with Zoom Diallo. They can just, have score points off the dribble, right?
Yeah.
Do the pick and roll thing. But you're not going to be able to do that against every team in the Big Ten. You're just going to get crushed.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't have anyone to kick it out to.
And it's so bad to watch. Is when you're just even the announcers are like, okay, that's one guy touching the ball in this possession. Claude or Zoom will just call for a high pick and roll and go, and everyone stands around. It's so boring.
Yeah. I mean, there's a time and place for that, right? There's a time for play and place to give your dude the ball, right? And to have them go at it. And but none of those guys are top 10 draft picks. Your top 10 draft pick is your post. And I mean, I don't know as much as, obviously I'm always going to defer to the actual coaches that know their players are the best, and putting everything on the freshmen to bring you to the promised land is probably not the way to go. Right. But there's got to be a way to take advantage of this, great treasure you have in the post that he can score too. He can score in the post.
Yeah. It's so weird because on the broadcast, they were talking about how Sprinkle has been emphasizing to them, sharing the ball is a better basketball, and that's how they want to play. But it doesn't mesh with what they do on the floor. So as a contrast, I know some people listening don't watch the women's team. The women's team runs a high post offense. It doesn't always work, but you've got Savia Sellers and El Ladine. You've got two borderline WNBA players, right? So they've got legitimate talent. Avery Howell's a WNBA prospect for sure. She plays on the Canadian national team. So they've got 3 guards who are really good. They could easily just ISO, and Sellers does that sometimes. But they run this offense where they throw to the high post, if you can visualize this, right? Catch at the elbow. Yeah. Then they go run some screen away action. where players are moving without the ball in their hands, and they can they can reject the screen, they can use it and then curl off the high post. Sometimes the screener will slip. Sometimes they set a double screen on the other side. It does end up sometimes then with a high ball pick if the shot clock's going down out of that action. But the Husky men come down and it's like they stand around, pass it back and forth, and then just set a ball pick. There's no intentionality to the action. It just doesn't match what he says he wants.
Yeah. I'm almost like kind of,
it's so weird.
What's frustrating is like they should have figured it out like in the past 2 months. Like they can't be still figuring it out going into Big Ten play. And like they should have tried, and maybe they did. Maybe I didn't watch it, but they should have tried doing the same thing that the women are doing. Like give Steinbach a touch every freaking possession. Like give him a touch at the high post.
Well, there's all kinds of things you can run. Like, I mean, I'm going to sound like I'm trying to be some expert here, but I have coached basketball before.
Yeah.
What is that like? What is that, a commercial? I just stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night. When you watch basketball, think about like what Denver does with Jokic. Now Steinbach's not a great passer. He's an okay passer. He's not Jokic, right?
No.
But you want to get him touches, run things at the top of the key through him, where he's handing off to guards coming off, and then you have other action on the other side. Kansas runs a high-low action, and Frank is not a good enough passer to probably do this too, but now you have this European big. Maybe you're running more high-low, where you've got a big at the top of the key and a big on the bottom. There's a continuous ball screen offense that Gonzaga runs. I used to run it in high school. We called it Gonzaga because Gonzaga would do it with Timmy all the time. And you have all these cool like duck in options off of it, and it like everybody touches the ball. Like I know, I talked about Gonzaga last week, but they're beautiful to watch play basketball on offense. And the Huskies are brutal. Like I don't want to turn them on. I don't want to turn them on.
They're pounding the ball. Like great, they had 3 guys score 20 points in their win, but like that just makes it super easy to beat them.
It's
like,
going to be brutal. And we talked about it.
Like you zero in on 3 guys. It's like, okay.
I mean, they go to Indiana. Indiana's not ranked. They play this weekend. And the matchup prediction on ESPN has Indiana 85%.
Yeah, I wonder what I'm into my Kalshi trading app. I wonder what the spread is.
So my headline for all of that, Kev, was going to be not a headline. I was just going to tell you that if you go to bracketology, they're not even in anywhere. And so that's problematic. And we just said why. So there you go.
Yep.
All right. Which headline do you want to go to next? Let me do this one for you. Okay. This is actually not from Seattle. This is a headline from Ohio. Sorry, I don't remember the paper. Yeah. Trade dividends paying off. Jackets, as in the Columbus Blue Jackets, keep rolling. Marchment extends streak. Do you have any idea what that means?
I'm assuming the Kraken traded someone to the Jackets and got ripped off. Ripped off.
You would think this from the headline. Mason Marchment, who we got in the offseason via trade from the Dallas Stars, we traded away. We actually gained a draft pick in it. So we traded, I think I have this right. When we traded for him, we gave up a 4th and a 3rd. And when we traded him away, we got a 4th and a 2nd back. So they gained a round draft pick. He's scoring goals for Columbus, and they're playing well since he's been there, right? And so for them, it's like, what a great trade. But guess what? As soon as they traded him, the Kraken won 4 in a row. And then they lost in overtime to Vancouver last night, but they got a point because they went to overtime. So that's 5 straight games of points. And just when we were ready to bury the Kraken, Kev, they have a 32% chance of making the playoffs.
Are alive.
And they are in the race. Like if you go look at the standings, they are a game or 2 down, and they're only a couple points out of a playoff spot right now.
Isn't the trade deadline coming up too? Or is that in March? Am I making something up?
I think it's soon. Yeah. The NHL's weird this year. So the Kraken actually have an insane schedule in January because they take a break for the Olympics.
Yeah, March 6th is the actual trade deadline.
So they take a break for the Olympics. So the Kraken have, like, they usually don't play back-to-backs. They usually play about every other day. And they have, like, a couple back-to-backs coming up this week. So they have a kind of a brutal run, as does everybody, because they take this break. But they're kind of back in the mix. And so I know you're not watching a ton of Kraken hockey right now. But my question is, this guy, Mason Marchman's a good player. He didn't seem like he fit. So do you believe in, I'm going to give you 3 options. Okay. When somebody gets traded away from your team, do you believe most strongly, not specifically to this scenario, but just in general, to addition by subtraction? Is that the strongest trade benefit? Like, you get rid of a guy, he was problematic in some capacity, right? Secondly, it clarifies roles. Or third, shoot, I forgot my third. I think I was going to go like, I don't want to say it's like luck, but it's just random.
Yeah.
Which one do you think is most likely in any trade scenario?
Not addition by subtraction.
So clarifying roles is more what you think. Like, you get rid of a guy.
Yeah.
It feels like that guy's talented, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as he goes, all of a sudden everybody knows their spot, and or maybe they get a little bit more like,
I mean, I'm
any
thinking
of us
of
could be
it.
traded.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it in the context of Husky football in the recent news. Like,
okay,
I don't think the Huskies running back situation is going to be better because Adam Muhammad left. Like, it's going to be better because Jordan Washington knew he was the guy going into next season, and he became the dude.
Let's do it a different way, though. Yeah. Do it a different way, though. Let's pretend they had traded him, which happened, and I'll help a team. Now, it could be that the Kraken, all the advanced stats say they're not great.
Still.
Maybe they're not. Maybe they're not. But it certainly is fun that they're back in the mix so that I can pay attention to them. So that's all we have to do because Kevin doesn't watch hockey. So. Let's do one more.
With the Michigan coaching vacancy filled, Fish UW united for long term.
God, I don't think we had. You just love talking about Jed Fish.
I don't think we have talked about like the crazy Michigan thing, and then like him being a candidate for like a hot minute when we thought this was all done.
True.
And then Kyle Whittingham, like,
great hire. It's a great hire by Michigan. He's really good.
Yeah.
He's good against the Huskies too. He's good.
The funniest thing I saw, which it was not supposed to be funny, but there was criticisms that they were hiring a 66-year-old and like whether he'd make it all 5
God,
years.
He looks great for 66.
Yeah, and I'm like,
God.
Yeah, that's true.
I saw him. I would not have guessed that. I would have told you he's in his 50s for sure.
I would lose in a fight.
Yeah.
You would lose in a fight.
Yes. We are both not fighters, Kev.
And he played for the Rams. No, I was like, if he made it for 5 years in this day and age, that's a miracle. Like, we did that whole thing about, that whole thing about how long the coaches last.
Right.
And it's like, oh my God, now all of a sudden Fish is here for 3 seasons. That's longer than DeBoer. Like, what the hell?
I know. I saw somebody jumped on our idea. This happens all the time. Actually, we talk about something and then the Seattle Times writes an article about it. I'm not arrogant enough to think they're listening to our podcast. Yeah. It just means that we're thinking about the right stuff.
I don't know that, but some could say
it could be.
Yeah.
But they wrote something, they had some tweet or headline about how, because of what you're saying with Fish, if it seems like it's probably this article that you're the headline, that they're connected now. And it was like Sark and Peterson are the only 2 coaches over 5 years.
Since Don James.
And Fish seems like he's on track to be over 5 years, but I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, so that's it.
That'll be one of my sneak preview for. I'll talk about Jed Fish later on.
Yeah, I just wanted to do a little teaser to the 7 articles that I wrote the past week about the transfer portal.
Yeah, you've been grinding.
It's kind of insane that the portal opens on January 2nd, and the contact period for recruiting is at the same time where the coaches go travel and visit recruits, and
that's got to be nuts.
Like, it's insane. Like, you're building your roster. Like, there's probably going to be dudes that maybe leave too that announce their entry into the portal. So like, the crazy thing is UW starts school, so I guess you don't enroll in winter quarter, you enroll spring quarter because the portal opens January 2nd, and then classes start at UW on January 5th. So unless you get everything figured out in like a day, and then miss a week of classes probably. Like you're probably starting in the spring, right?
I don't know. They probably are trying to get him in there in winter. They just start him a week late,
nuts,
get him in the weight room.
That's nuts.
The other thing is all these high school guys now leave high school early.
Yeah, like
the entire winter.
The entire class basically is gonna be.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing.
Yeah. I always never thought like it'd be cool to graduate early. Like, so
no, spring
you can do like
year.
AP credits and like just peace out after your, fall semester of your senior year. I'm like, why would you want to do that? Like, college is so much fun. Like, oh man.
High school or college is fun?
College.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking college, like, because if you do a lot of work in high school, right? Like AP stuff, like you can,
you're saying you do less college, yeah.
Yeah, like
but these athletes aren't necessarily doing less college. That's not the problem.
Yeah.
They're doing 6 years. I guess not anymore.
No, they do 6 years, then go to the NBA, and then not play, and then go play for Baylor. Apparently.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. We can't even get into that headline today. All right, let's segue to our top 5, because first, let me just say, go read Kevin's work. He is all kinds of stuff on portal targets, all this kind of stuff. Oh, actually, before we do top 5, Kev, let's return to a segment. What's in Kev's DMs?
Dude, it is so interesting.
Because I know these articles are not coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You got a little info.
Yeah, I will say that.
Give me your best DM that you can say on the podcast.
Like someone just told me like your needs article was spot on. Like I know for a fact that
you won't say which one it is though, right?
No. I wrote an article about like the general priorities, right? Like here's what they need to look at, and like maybe other people could have written that, but like I think that's a kind of a good roadmap for people to understand. Like this is what they're looking for, right? And of course, there's going to be some random stuff. Like they brought in a backup quarterback last season. Maybe that happens again, where they bring in someone to back up Damon that's not a freshman or a sophomore. But in general, I think it's going to be D-line and edge, cornerback, and a receiver. Like that's kind of like the core.
Maybe a running back
class. Yeah. Oh yeah, and a running back, which I put in that
Muhammad somehow comes back,
which would be like someone responded to a tweet that I wrote and said like a Dylan Johnson type would be perfect, and I totally agree with that. Like a 1-year rental to kind of bridge with the younger guys. So
shout out Dylan Johnson. Some of his family listens to the pod.
I will say.
Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I'll tell you about it later.
Okay. I will say that I'm coming in to the portal season with much more intel. Like I was kind of learning on the fly how to report and like how to understand it. And I have more of a understanding of how things work in the inner workings on both sides, from the UW football side, and then also from like the agents and the players.
Yep.
So, maybe I'll be able to drop a scoop in the next week. That would be cool, right? Like I was able to do it last time. Maybe we'll get more than one scoop this time around. So we'll see.
Kev's DMs are hot right now.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Christine. It's all high school. It's all college athletes.
All college athletes. Yeah. Hopefully I don't have to put any graphics together.
Yeah.
That was weird. Okay. What's top 5?
You're not going to ask me my question? What's up in youth sports today?
Oh, yeah. What is up with youth sports?
I'm going to do it as a shout out. I'm going to shout out Donald Watts, UW legend.
Yeah.
My son Felix has been going to Donald Watts' workouts to get a little basketball training. Highly recommended by a couple people. I've known Coach Watts for a long time. We coached against each other in high school when he was at West Seattle. I was assisting at prep, and he's just doing a great job. So if you have a kid who wants to go get good training and get real truth, Dana was at Saturdays, and Coach Watts had to tell a kid, you guys stop looking at your parents every time something goes right or wrong. I'm like, there's not that many basketball coaches who tell kids that anymore, and I think it's awesome because they need to hear it. because I have coached kids who look up in the stands when things go right or wrong, and it doesn't help you play better.
Yeah.
So
my favorite Watts story, this is actually a Slick Watts story, is Caroline, my sister, and she can corroborate this story, was in like 7th or 8th grade. Caroline's short. Yep. And they were shooting threes, doing training. Caroline was training with the Watts, and
she was training with Slick or Donald?
Donald, but Slick was there.
Oh yeah, okay.
And she was shooting with, inside the 3-point line. Like, she's like, this is where I'm not
my
a shooter.
Range is my range.
This is my range, right? And Slick was telling her, no, you need to shoot it outside. Like, you can shoot the 3, like giving her confidence. Like, this is Slick Watts is also not the tallest guy, right? Yep. And so telling Caroline to shoot it, and she takes a step back and she swishes her first shot. Like, that's like the kind of like confidence, like building that magic, you need, baby. Right? Yeah. Like, it's good stuff. So shout out to the Watts family.
Yes, awesome. Yes. Go check out Coach Donald Watts.
Where is it? Where does he travel and train wherever gyms are? Or does he have a
Saturdays? They do it at the WAC, so you can go to the gym at the WAC, and then on during the week you go down to that gym at Soto. Everybody's walked by it on the way to a game. So you've probably seen men's leagues running in there or whatever, but when you walk on the way to the stadium, it's right.
There's by a warehouse,
right by the showgirls and the bar and all that kind of stuff.
There's like a warehouse gym
down there. Yep, and it's got the Watts.
God, that's awesome.
Watts family. I think it says on the gym floor it's Watts or it's a UW logo or something like that on the floor. So
excellent.
Yeah, it was fun to tell Felix. He likes Coach Watts. He's working out with him, and I'm like, Felix, you need to go watch some YouTube.
Like, this dude's a legend.
This guy's Coach Watts was a guy.
Yeah.
He was a real dude at UW, like real dude. Some real good Husky memories with Todd McCulloch and those teams. And he's just he's a super positive guy and really holds kids accountable. And it's
unheralded,
very
right?
kind.
Like,
he's a good guy.
No knock on Jamal Crawford, because Jamal Crawford has done so much. And you feel like the press and the media has given a lot of given the rightful attention to Jamal Crawford for everything he's done. Like, there's dudes like Donald Watts they've been doing that since I was before I was in high school, right? Like, giving back and doing things and training kids and doing things the right way. So I'm on board with your shout out.
So that's my I'll have more fun ones, but I wanted to give a genuine one this time.
Yeah,
I'll have more fun ones when we get back into tournament season. Yeah. And I have some crazy parent stories to tell you.
Yeah.
So that'll be coming soon. All right, let's do a top 5, and it's the new year. When people listen to this, it'll be the day before, or maybe they're even listening to the new year. And I thought we would give 5 predictions for 2026 in Seattle sports. And I'll go first. And if you just want to co-sign one of them, you can do that. And then you can add your own. Does that work?
Yeah. Yeah. How serious are you going to be? Are you these are going to happen? Or you're going to find out? All right.
Number 1, the Sonics will be announced. They're coming back in 2026.
Oh, man, I wish that would be true.
So you're not going to co-sign it.
I'm not co-signing it. I just have been down the road with you. We've written articles. We've answered.
I know you got to go bold though in your predictions, otherwise they're boring, right? What are you gonna do? You say the Seahawks are gonna make the playoffs this year? Good job, Kev. Yeah. So that's my first one.
Yep.
Do you want me to just go through my 5 and then you can add on?
Yep.
Okay. My second one is hold on, I'm gonna get my document up here. The Mariners are gonna win the AL West again.
I co-sign.
And this one's not as, I thought, should I go World Series? Here's the thing. We know this from watching this last year. Baseball playoffs are so hard and they're so random, right? It's really hard to predict, they're going to go to the ALCS again. They're going to go, but I do think they're the best team in the AL West. I think they'll be the best team in the AL West again. I don't think they're done. So I'm going to say they're going to win the AL West. So Kev co-signs on that one.
Yeah. Can I tell you something?
Of course.
So I have my training app. Will a Seattle NBA team play a game before 2030? So a month ago, my Kalshi trading app, it's like the betting app.
Okay. Yeah.
So a month ago, it was a 30% chance
Okay.
So since the Silver announcement, it's a 94% chance that that a Seattle team will play a game before 2030. So
okay, that's interesting. That means that because the best place to look for things if they're real are gambling sites. Because there's money involved, right?
Yeah,
like they're not
but
going
it's
to do
us.
stuff.
It's like us, right? Like we're trading. Like I think that's the volume. It's like the same thing with like the coaching candidates, right? So, but there is
not
truth to that,
same.
right? Like, but there is truth to like
Right.
crowdsourcing, and like you're the econ person, so you can tell me like how much to trust a crowdsource thing. But
I would trust it more if like FanDuel was setting the line because they don't want to lose money, right?
Yeah.
And so they set lines for a reason that have reasoning behind it. And all the guys who set lines in Vegas have sources, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so somebody knows something. But anyway, we'll see. Okay, I've got 2 down. My third one, you're gonna like this one. Jed Fish will not be the coach at UW at this time next year.
Yeah.
So following the season, we're going to revisit this in December 2026. And we may not be podcasting. Who knows? But if we are, and we revisit this, my prediction is he will not be the coach at UW.
I don't co-sign that. And I think,
of course you don't.
Yeah. And here's why I don't think that's going to happen. There were 3 openings. Okay. So there's the Florida opening, which he probably would have taken if he had gotten offered. There's a reason why he wasn't offered it. You had the Michigan opening, which I think he would have taken that if it was offered. Some reports say
you're just proving my point better.
He wasn't seriously considered, right? No. But here's the deal: like, if he can't go to Florida or Michigan, where else would he go?
Anywhere. He'll go anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. So
that's my prediction.
I think. Yeah, and maybe this is my bias, right? Covering, watching and covering the team is like, I think the most likely would be for him to take an OC spot at an NFL team. Sure. But then you run into the issue of like, is he a good offensive coordinator? I don't know.
Well, we talked about that.
Yeah. So
here's my thing. Here's where it's coming from. Exactly what you said. He's definitely interested. Mm-hmm. There are sources who say they 100% say he wanted the Florida job or Michigan job. Right?
Yeah.
Your counter is like, they don't want him. If you believe the Huskies are going to put up another 8 or 9 win year, somebody's going to want him next year. Okay.
Like a blue blood. Like,
I don't even know if he needs it because here's the other part of the equation. Have the Huskies athletic department offered him an extension?
Yeah.
All these coaches are getting extensions to stay. So I'm not convinced the Husky athletic department wants him long term either. Wants is the wrong term.
Or I think it's kind of related, but I think a different lens would be like, what's the point of offering him an extension?
Sure.
Like if he's gonna leave anyways, like sure we can offer it and extend him and he can sign it, but it won't mean anything.
Well, unless they put the buyout, enormous number that helps them
high,
or something.
Right. Like yeah.
But I think they don't feel. This is totally my guess.
Yeah.
They don't feel like he's in it for the long haul, that it's a short-term marriage, and so they're not going to put the resources and time in to give him an extension.
And historically, like, that's right. Like, that's
right.
just
nothing
also, against Fish.
No,
right?
you're right. I'm also basing this on recent history.
Yeah. But look at like the history of Husky coaches, and then like look at Fish's resume. Like, it doesn't take Einstein to figure out like how long this will last. So it will be a miracle if he lasts, longer than a couple years. But I guess you're right. Like now you've kind of talked me off the cliff where I'm like, well, like maybe it's right. We don't know what openings there will be that will be more enticing. Right. And you kind of like have said everything. And I wonder what the other jobs are. I truly do. If like we sat down and thought about like, what would these other jobs be if it wasn't Michigan or Florida? Like
a more fun prediction would be,
where
Fish is not the coach and Chris Peterson gets named the head coach of the University of Washington. That's just
everyone's pipe dream. Right.
Okay, my fourth one is the Seattle Reign are going to win the NWSL title.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah. They were a good team this year. They were in the playoffs, and they didn't. Now, Lynn Williams will be having a baby, or Lynn Bandolo, so she's, I'm guessing, not going to play this year, but maybe at the end of the year. But me official, who they signed, who they didn't really utilize, and they just didn't quite use everybody. And I think another year in the system and with the talent they're getting, yeah, I think they're going to win the championship. I mean, this is kind of like bold predictions, but I'm going to go for it. So, do you co-sign that one?
I co-sign because I trust you.
All right. So there you go. Kevin's got 2.
Yeah.
My last one is the Seahawks. There's 2 parts to this. They're going to win 12 plus games next year as well. Okay. So they're going to keep this rolling, and they will advance to the NFC Championship this year. I don't think they'll go to the Super Bowl. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I think they'll win the Super Bowl.
Whoa!
Yeah. I think
can't even respond. I'm like,
yeah, man, numbers don't lie. I mean, we're honestly doing it before the most important game of this season.
Yeah.
This is like the most important. This feels more important than playoff games in the past.
It's the most important regular season in Seahawks history.
Yeah.
Regular season game in Seahawks history.
Yeah.
So your next prediction is the Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I'll just transition in my 5.
Yeah, you need 2 more then.
Yeah.
You co-signed 3 of mine.
I think the Huskies, if Jed Fish is he is going to be I think the Huskies make the CFP next year.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I think they're good enough. I think DeMond makes another jump. I think the defense returns a lot of playmakers. It'll be interesting to see. It looks like they're retaining Ryan Walters, which is huge.
Yeah, that is huge, actually.
And
there's a lot of smoke for him at Tennessee.
Yeah. The amount of content, the volume of the continuity, right? Like returning a starting quarterback, like
the continuity. Just trying to put that phrase together. The volume of the continuity.
Yeah, like the players coming back, the coaches coming back.
Yeah.
Fish having it be his 3rd season, right?
Yeah.
Like Chris Peterson, I was listening to a Chris Peterson podcast. He talked about transition and how, and I'm sure you've read studies about like teaching, like how there's a period of time where there's like suffering involved. And then there's like a graph where you're just seeing like amazing growth just in your own teaching, but also like the students. Yeah. And I feel like the same thing is, and Chris Peterson was talking about how your program isn't yours until you hit the 3rd year. And you hit the 3rd year and things start to go right. Like, I think things are going to go right for the Huskies. Like the season, like people are calling this season a disappointment, which is amazing. Like this is the expectation.
It's not a disappointment if they beat Wisconsin. Everybody's
yeah. All of a sudden you're 10-3. Yeah.
Give me your last one.
I think the Mariners win the World Series.
Oh, this guy. Okay. I just want you're the eternal optimist. You just said, although you said the Sonics aren't coming
within
back.
5 minutes. Within 5 minutes.
You said the Sonics aren't coming back, but you predicted the Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl. The Mariners are going to win the World Series, and the Husky football team is going to the college football playoff. That would be the greatest year in Seattle sports history. You just predicted.
Yeah, go right now and do the parlay. I'm telling everyone right now, lock it in.
That's amazing.
It's December 30th.
I have nothing else to say. That's amazing. You really went for it. You went big.
Yeah. I was asking if you're going to do it serious or,
Well, I don't know. Are you serious? You think it's going to happen?
I think the most likely of the 3 is the Huskies make the CFP. I think the MLB World Series is always a crapshoot. Like MLB playoffs, like we just witnessed it. It sucks. It's horrible.
I think the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl is the strongest of the 3.
Oh, really? Because of the defense?
Well, they're already there, right? They're already like on the cusp of being the number 1 seed now. They might not.
Yeah.
You just said the FanDuel or whoever's got them as the greatest odds.
Yeah.
I'm guessing
the Mariners are fifth best odds to win the World Series. Or 4th.
And what's the Huskies' odds to make the college football playoff?
Oh, I have no idea. Those can't even be out yet. There's too many variables.
They're definitely out. I mean, you're right. They're stupid, but they got to be out. Let's see. No, that's old. Yeah, you're right.
They're not out.
It's too
I'm one of the sources, Brian. Like you got to know this. Like they Vegas calls me and says who's going to be in the playoff, and then they set the lines.
Vegas.
That's how it works.
Not calling you. That's for sure.
Yeah,
they're not in your DMs. They're not. All right. Well, we did it, Kev. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. When we talk, it'll be 2026, and we'll be doing the podcast for 3 calendar years.
Yeah, and it'll be the Jerry Rice episode.
Nice.
Is that blasphemous?
80.
Steve Largent. Obviously, it's a Steve Largent, but Jerry Rice was also number 80.
Steve Largent is not a top 10 Seattle athlete.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
All right. See everyone next week. Thanks for listening.